The war had ended. Earth was scarred, cities broken, skies still bruised from battles long past, but the flags of peace were finally raised. Among the heroes, none were more talked about than Commander Roan Vance, not just for his strategies or bravery, but because he never once lost a man in battle. He was the war's miracle. When the alien coalition surrendered, Earth's leaders offered rewards to the victors. Some took gold, land, or titles, but Roan, he asked for nothing. He only wanted silence, rest, and a chance to breathe again. But peace didn't come so quietly. A few days after the armistice was signed, a tall woman with skin like moonlight and silver eyes was brought to his doorstep. She wore strange robes and metal cuffs on her wrists. Her expression was unreadable. "This is for you," the envoy said. "A tribute from the conquered. Her name is Scylla. She's yours now." Roan frowned. "I didn't ask for this." "You earned it." The council insisted. When the door shut behind them, silence stretched between the two. She stood tall, proud despite her chains. "So," she said, her voice soft but clear, "what will you do with me, human?" Roan rubbed the back of his neck awkwardly. "Nothing. You're not a thing. You're a person." Her brow arched. "Am I? My people call me traitor now. Yours call me property. I'm not like them." Her silver gaze pierced through him. "We'll see." Roan had prepared a room in his house for a friend who never came. It was empty and clean, with a bed and window that opened to the green hills of Elmont. A peaceful place. "You can stay here," he said. "No chains, no orders. Just be free." She stepped into the room slowly, her eyes scanning everything. "This is not how victors treat slaves." Roan's voice was quiet. "I don't want a slave. I just want to understand." She looked at him for a long moment, something unreadable flickering in her eyes. "Then let us begin with names. You are Roan. I am Scylla, and we are not enemies anymore." And just like that, the war began to fade for both of them. Days passed. Roan found himself growing used to the quiet presence in his home. Scylla didn't speak much, but her movements were graceful, almost like music. She walked barefoot on the wooden floors, always watching the skies as if expecting them to open up and swallow her. She spent long hours in the garden, touching the petals of Earth's flowers with a strange kind of wonder. Roan would watch her from the window sometimes, the way she knelt to smell the soft blooms, her fingers trailing over the stems like she was memorizing them. There was something peaceful about her, even though her past was filled with war. "Do they not grow flowers like this on your world?" he asked one afternoon, setting down a plate of sliced fruit near her. She didn't look at him right away. "We have growth, but not like this. Our plants are sharp, strong. They grow from stone and drink heat. No scent, no color. Sounds. Tough. So are we." Roan noticed things about her, things that told stories without words, the way she always busted doors, how she never let her back face the room, how her hand twitched when someone knocked too hard on the door. She was a soldier beneath that calm, still armored by habit. One night, rain tapped softly against the windows. The fireplace glowed, filling the room with gentle warmth. Roan made tea and poured 2 cups, placing one on the low table near Scylla. She looked at it cautiously. "What is this?" "Chamomile. Good for sleep." She took it carefully, lifting the cup and breathing in. Her lashes lowered. "This scent, it's gentle. It was my mother's favorite." Scylla took a small sip. "Thank you." They sat in silence for a while. The kind of silence that wasn't heavy, just still, comfortable. "You've been kind," she said at last. "More than I expected." Roan stared into his tea. "I don't want anything from you, Scylla. Not obedience, not service, just company, maybe." She tilted her head. "Do humans often want company from their enemies?" We're not enemies anymore." She leaned back, curling one leg beneath her. "And yet I wonder, how do you sleep? Knowing what you've done, what you've seen." He looked up slowly. "I don't. Not well." Scylla nodded. "Me neither." Their eyes met across the firelight, something quiet and shared forming between them. Not quite trust, not yet, but something warmer than suspicion. "Do your people know you're here?" Roan asked. "They think I'm dead," she said, her voice a whisper. "And maybe I am. In their eyes." Rowan felt a pang deep in his chest. He couldn't explain why her words cut so deep. Maybe because he, too, had come home a different man. One who didn't fit into the world he fought to save. "You're not dead," he said softly. "You're standing here, breathing, touching flowers, drinking tea." Her lips curved slightly. "That counts?" "It should." She looked down at the tea again, then reached forward. Her hand brushed against his as she placed her cup beside his. The touch was small, brief, but it stayed with him. Scylla stood, walking to the window, watching the rain slide down the glass. "Your world is soft," she murmured, "but it has edges too. I feel them when I look at you." Roan stood, behind her, close but not touching. "We all have edges, Scylla. War gives them to everyone." She turned to face him, her silver eyes steady. "And what do we do with those edges, Roan?" He didn't have an answer, but something in his chest stirred, slow and aching. Maybe peace wasn't found in silence. Maybe it was found in someone who asked the same questions. Morning light crept through the windows, soft and golden. Roan woke to the scent of something warm. Bread? He sat up, surprised. Scylla was in the kitchen, her sleeves rolled up, her long silver hair tied loosely back. Her hands moved carefully, folding a small piece of dough. "You're cooking?" he asked, still half asleep. She didn't turn. "I watched you do it enough times. I thought I'd try." Rowan smiled, rubbing his eyes. "That's brave. Human kitchens can be dangerous." Scylla glanced over her shoulder, a ghost of a smirk on her lips. "I survived a war. I think I can handle fire and flour." He walked over, watching her. Her movements were precise, almost like a ritual, but her brow was furrowed, unsure. "Here," he said gently, stepping behind her. "You need to press softer. Let it breathe." He placed his hand over hers, guiding her fingers. She didn't pull away. The moment stretched. Her skin was warm beneath his. Her scent, subtle and sweet, like rain on stone, rose in the quiet. Space between them. Her voice came softly. "Is this how human males teach?" "Only the lucky ones," he whispered. They stood like that for a few breaths longer. Then she stepped aside, clearing her throat. "It's strange, being in a place where no one wants to command or hurt you. I keep waiting for something to break." Roan leaned against the counter. "It won't. Not here." "Why?" "Because I've had enough of breaking things." They ate together, the bread slightly burnt but still good. She laughed once, soft and real, when the crust crumbled too fast. Roan had never heard her laugh before. It struck something in him, something that made him want to hear it again. Later, they walked outside. The air was crisp, the wind gentle. Spring had begun to show its colors, tiny green buds, blossoms trembling on trees. Scylla tilted her head back, letting sunlight touch her face. "We don't have seasons like this." "What do you have?" "Night and light, endless heat, storms that break mountains, but no quiet changes, no soft beginnings." Roan watched her, the way her silver eyes glowed in the light. "Maybe this can be your soft beginning." She looked at him, expression unreadable. "You say things, Roan." Things that feel like threads tying me here. Do you want to leave? A long pause. Then, I don't know. I should. But I look at you, she said quietly, and I don't feel like a prisoner. I feel seen. And that's dangerous. He stepped closer. I see you, Sila. Not as a trophy, not as a slave, just you. Their hands brushed again, like the air between them had grown thinner. Roan didn't push. He just stood there, close enough to feel her breath. That night, as the stars appeared one by one, Sila sat by the window. Roan joined her, holding 2 mugs of warm cider. Do humans always drink things when they're nervous? She asked. He chuckled. It helps. Then I suppose I'll keep drinking. They sipped in silence, shoulders almost touching. I was ready to hate you, she admitted. I don't blame you. But you didn't act like a conqueror. You gave me space. You listened. You didn't try to own me. Roan turned toward her. Because you're not something to own. You're someone I want to know. Sila's voice trembled just slightly. You make it hard to keep my walls up. Good, he said softly. Because I'm trying to build something with you, not tear it down. Their eyes met. And this time, neither of them looked away. The distance between them faded, not just the space in the room, but the weight of their histories, their pain. And when Sila rested her head against his shoulder, Roan didn't speak. He only closed his eyes and let the quiet hold them both. The days that followed felt different, warmer, slower, more alive. Sila no longer flinched at sudden sounds. She laughed more, asked questions, even teased Roan when he burned the stew. She started wearing earth clothes, loose tunics, and soft trousers that made her look almost human, though nothing could hide the subtle shimmer of her skin or the graceful way she moved. Roan found himself watching her more often, when she read on the porch, when she braided her hair by the window, when she whispered to the flowers in the garden like they were old friends. Every glance stirred something deeper in him, something he couldn't name. One morning, as he was fixing the fence, Sila came out holding a small wooden box. I found this in your storage room, she said. May I open it? Roan blinked, wiping his hands. That was my father's. Go ahead. She sat beside him and gently lifted the lid. Inside were old medals, photographs, and a folded flag. Her fingers touched them carefully, reverently. This was your family? She asked. He nodded. My father was a soldier, like me. He died before the war began. Do you miss him? Every day. He would have liked you. She looked up, surprised. Really? Roan smiled. He believed in kindness, and in seeing strength beyond. A sword. Sila closed the box slowly. My father wouldn't have liked you. That bad, huh? She laughed. He was strict, cold. He taught me to fight before I could write, but if he'd seen you with me now, maybe even he would have understood. Their eyes met. Something unspoken lingered in the air between them. A closeness neither dared name. That evening, Sila prepared a dish from her world, something roasted with glowing herbs and strange blue roots. Roan tried it and coughed immediately, eyes watering. Sila burst out laughing. Too spicy? I think my tongue just surrendered. You humans are so soft, she teased, grinning. He chuckled, wiping his mouth. You're enjoying this? Way too much. She leaned closer, her eyes playful. Maybe. As the sun set, they sat by the fire again. This time, Roan reached out, gently brushing a strand of hair from her face. You've changed, he said. So have you. I feel like I've been holding my breath for years. And now, here with you, You can breathe again, she finished softly. He nodded. Exactly. Scylla's hand found his. Her fingers laced through his slowly, purposefully. You gave me something I didn't know I'd lost, she whispered. The right to choose, to feel, to be more than a weapon. Roan's heart beat, louder in his chest. You've always been more. She looked at him then, her expression soft and open. Then tell me something true, Roan. He took a breath, steady and deep. I think I'm falling in love with you. Silence wrapped around them, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It shimmered with meaning. Scylla's voice came next, barely a whisper. Then I think I already have. She leaned in, slowly, her lips brushing his in a kiss that felt like dawn, tender, warm, and full of hope. And in that kiss, two soldiers, once enemies, found something stronger than war. Something neither had been trained to fight. Love. The wind carried a scent of blooming fields, and the house felt full, not just of sound or warmth, but of life. Real, peaceful life. Roan sat at the edge of the garden, watching Scylla kneel among the flowers. Her fingers danced gently over the petals, her silver hair swaying with the breeze. She looked up and caught him staring. You're doing it again. Can you blame me? He replied with a soft grin. You're beautiful when you're focused. She blushed, a faint lavender flush across her cheeks. Flattery human? Honesty. She stood and walked to him, wiping her hands on a cloth tucked at her waist. It's still strange, being here, being wanted. Roan reached for her hand. You're not just wanted, you're free and loved. Scylla's eyes shimmered with something fragile, something fierce. Say that again. He rose, holding both her hands now. I love you, Scylla. You were never a reward. You're the reason I'm healing. She let out a trembling breath. And I never imagined I'd say this, but I love you too, Roan. You broke through a cage I didn't even know I was in. He touched her cheek, his thumb brushing against her skin. Then stay. Not as something given, not as someone owned, but as my partner, my equal. She looked into his eyes, her gaze steady, clear. Then ask me. Roan knelt down slowly, not as a grand gesture, but as something real. Something born from respect, pain, and something that had grown quietly, powerfully between them. Scylla, will you stay by my side? Not because you were assigned to me, but because you choose it. Will you walk with me into whatever this life becomes? Tears welled in her eyes. Yes, 1,000 times yes. They embraced, holding each other like the world might vanish if they let go. Months passed. Word of their story spread. Of the human soldier who chose love over conquest and the alien warrior who found peace in a world she once saw as enemy. It became a quiet legend, whispered between planets now working to rebuild, to understand. Roan and Scylla built more than just a life together. They built a bridge, one born from broken pieces, war-torn hearts, and slow, patient trust. And every night, as stars stretched across the sky, Scylla would rest her head on Roan's chest and whisper, "You gave me my future." He would kiss her forehead and whisper back, "You gave me my heart." Together they rewrote what it meant to win. A war, not through domination, but through love.